Hi friends, as I promised, uh, I want to follow up my predictions for Sri Lanka 2023. I predict, I follow up all my predictions, because it's based on Jyotish, which is quite scientific science. So I thought, let me follow it up, even though we don't have final numbers, economic numbers, and things like that for 2023 yet. But before I start, I want to say that this is my objective is to show that Jyotish is a real science. Things can be predicted to the point, to the date. With this science, as long as we have correct data and earlier research is done properly, so this is highly valuable. There's no other science that can predict things that this can do, because it is that valuable. I believe this, anybody who learn this, they'll come to conclusions that this is the highest knowledge available in this world. Okay, I mean, for you to learn that first, and then you can come to that conclusions. As we said, Sri Lanka is running Rahu period, Rahu main period till 2041, but main period is not what matters, is the sub period that runs till October 2025. So all of 2023 was Rahu period, Rahu sub period. And what Rahu represents, I said these are the things that Rahu represents. You can see whether any of these things happened in Rahu period. Did we see any of these things highlighted in Rahu period? Did we see diplomatic moves? Did you see manipulations? Did you see the deceit? Cheating, poison, drug pushers, drug dealers, panic, conmen, deceit, cheats, pleasure seekers, insincere and immoral acts. Did we see that in 2023? That's the question we need to ask, So I believe, anybody who is living in Sri Lanka who knows most of these is what was happening in there. And also Rahu represents these things. I did not have this in the original prediction, for education purposes. I said, let me put these also on. Rahu is travel. Even if a personal chart, you are running a Rahu period, you will travel. Rahu is migration. Rahu is tourism. And we know that even, is it strange that 2023 and 2024, most public holidays come close to a Saturday, Sunday, so that you can travel. Isn't that, you think that happens by chance? No, these are all by design. And also a lot of people migrated from Sri Lanka. Everybody wanted to leave from Sri Lanka to earn money, and in the process they get cheated so badly. Poor people lost a lot of money because Rahu is a cheater. And we know tourism doing well because of Rahu period. Rahu always promotes travel and bring tourists. So that's one of the positive aspect of Rahu. And the Rahu is foreigners, Rahu is strangers, Rahu is materialistic pursuits. Rahu is making overly ambitious people, like they want things, that's what Rahu does. And the mysterious illnesses comes from Rahu. These stuff, I added them, just for your education. And I said, we will have setbacks to the living standards of the people. We need to ask ourselves, was it better in 2022 than 2023? World Bank predicts poverty rate increases from 25% to 28%. A quarter of a population is in poverty. These are quite a bit, and then it goes up too, and so that's quite high. And also challenges for the international position of the country. We are bankrupt and not paying our loans. Do we need to say more about that one? And also I predicted these Did we have any of these? Like, did we have any undue foreign influences? Did we have India or China or US or anybody influencing us? It's, you probably know the answer. And also, are we trying to sell our assets? Trying to get foreign currency? Are we doing base work for that in 2023 or not? And also, did we see any behind the scene deals or corruption? Was there any corruption? Was there any behind the scene deals? Was that possibility in 2023? That you can ask yourself. And if you think there was none like that, please feel free to comment. That would be interesting to see. Did we see the really transparent things in Sri Lanka? Did the government fully transparent? Was there any attempt to hide the reality? That's a thing. That also we can ask ourselves. Whether there was anything like that. Did we see injustices or slow investigations? Was the law applies to poor people versus influential people differently? And also, was there cheating, stealing, and false promises? Were there anything like that in 2023? That also a question that we need to ask ourselves. Did we see things in rosy appearance? Like things are showing up as rosy. It looks really good, but it's not. And increased foreign debts. We know IMF approved agreed for 3 billion, close to 2.9 billion, I think, facility, and we get about 300 and 300, kind of 600 so far. We can't get any debts because we are not paying our debts. So at least that's IMF is only resort we have. And do we have conflicts and unhappy population? That's something we expected, because in a periods like Rahu, this is what result in, because Rahu is such a malefic planet that gives these kind of influences. That's the trouble. Also, I predicted some periods. These are based on transits, even though I did not write what these transits are. Like this one is Saturn meeting Mercury, or Rahu aspecting Mars in this period. So generally Saturn, anything with Saturn and Mercury involves weather situation, climate. And the Rahu involves cheating and mysterious things. Like around this time we had air quality went down in March. There was a minor earthquakes, you would remember those things. And mysterious viral flu was there among children. Tourists get sexually harassed, around that time. And also there was a pyramid schemes, and lot of cheating going on, over USD 100 million, and foreigners involved in cheating. Like some Chinese people were cheating, locals and things like that. There were things like that. These are all to do with Rahu aspect Mars for cheating part, and the weather part is from Saturn conjunct Mercury. And in late May to early June, we had Ketu aspect Mercury. At that time, Mercury is communications, to write, to know things. And then that one, this time, brought the media suppression policy, discussion to the forefront. So this is where it started. So that is a really bad transit. And I think we passed that act also today. I am not against any of them, but if the objective is to suppress the right to speak, then it is not right. And then in the late August to early September, I said it's a bad time. This is the time that we had the drought. That is so much happening that like a lot of agricultural land went to waste, and farmers lost a lot of money and things like that. And also anti-terrorism bill was so much opposition for it, and then it went for redrafting. So that was in that with that transit there. The drought was really hurting people at that time. And also late December to early January, that was in Saturn conjunct Mercury again, and the Rahu aspect Saturn. So we had rain and floods and landslides, and then we know we increased the VAT and cost of living now. These stuff to do with difficulties for people. So that's basically what I predicted. And this is the Sri Lanka chart that I use for that. This is really a true science. I mean, I don't have anything against anybody. It's just, I want to show that, when a Rahu period comes, this is what happens. And the other thing I want to emphasize in a Rahu period is that towards the end of a Rahu period, which is, now we are like more than halfway away, towards the end of a Rahu period, Rahu is a planet that gives you at the beginning, allow you to sell drugs and whatever insincere way that you want to earn money. Rahu allows you, Rahu promotes you to do that. But towards the end of the Rahu period, Rahu takes more than what you earn from that. Basically, Rahu takes everything from you. That's how Rahu punishes. Rahu allow you to gain first, and then he removes all that gains plus whatever else you had. Everything else is removed. So that is what is going to happen towards the end of Rahu period. That could be from end of this year to October next year. So we can expect some Rahu doing some justices, removing ill-gotten gains by many people. That Rahu will make sure that some of those are being repaid. I think I wanted to cover that from the earlier one, but I forgot. I have done 2024 predictions for Sri Lanka based on the Rahu period. You can watch that video. Also, I have done so many other videos related to US or Canada or US presidents like that. You can look at my videos and see what I said is right or wrong. My whole idea is to promote this Jyotish science. If you learn it, you can see my lessons in there. There are 6 lessons that I did it in Sinhala. You can watch that. You can learn from that. I didn't hide anything. My whole objective is that I'm not earning money from this. I'm not looking for you to subscribe or anything like that. My whole idea is for you to learn this science, make you interesting for you to learn, and that's about